All right, so welcome everybody to the very first ArkAAN Podcast. So today I have a collection of awesome people from the ArkAAN board, and I'm going to let them tell us a little bit about themselves to start things off.
Hi, everyone. My name is Autumn Perkins. I'm currently serving as our 4-year public representative. This is my very first time serving on the board, and it has been fantastic. I've been in higher ed since 2008. I've been advising since 2015. I really like advising because of the student interaction and feeling like I can make a difference. So it's just really great to be here and to get to talk with you guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Danielle Jolie. I am at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith and I'm your president-elect. I have been in advising for a little over 10 years, and recently I was asked what my favorite part of my job was, and I said I love to watch students go and just hang out with me for a second, because I know that sounds weird, but I like to see them go into that next step after graduation, because it's awesome to see them grow, but I always enjoy seeing what their future holds after they graduate and just how excited they are to get to that next step. So I love to watch them grow, but I love to watch them go even more. So if that makes sense now for you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Rude. I'm currently serving as president of ArkAAN. I have been in higher ed since 2001. I'm at the University of Central Arkansas, currently serving as the assistant director and advisor to the Honors College. I've been here since 2008, and before that I worked in admissions on the East Coast from 2001 on. And I'm just really excited to be here today. I think my favorite part of advising is just seeing students really kind of dream in my office and discuss all the potential paths that they have and how they can achieve all of their goals. And I also just love that as advisors, we really are the people who have the most consistent relationship over the 4 years. I would say they always know that they can come to you. You're always there for them. And so that's my favorite part, just to be that consistent relationship touchstone for them.
Hey guys, I will wrap it up. My name is Jill Geisler Wheeler, and I am currently serving as your outgoing or past president for ArkAAN. Over the years that I have been advising, which has been from 2005 until now, and I'll let you do the math, I have served in various roles, but then I've also worked in various roles within ArkAAN. So over the time that I have been in advising, which I did join ArkAAN in my very first year, I have been communication. I have also been the NACADA rep for Arkansas, and then the various roles of president. My favorite role that I have currently as the associate director for honors in the College of Arts and Sciences at the U of A is getting to be, like Jenny said, being that person. And then also, like Danielle said, watching them go. And so I love that they look at me as, now that I'm old enough, they look at me as mom. And then I also really love staying connected and seeing where they are in their second year of medical school, and when they graduate law school, and now that they are starting to create little humans of their own. And so because of the connections that I've made over the years, I still get to follow them through the rest of their life, thanks to social media. So that's a little bit about me. And I think I said it, but maybe not. I'm at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Thank y'all. Those are some great stories and everything. I'm right there with you as far as being an advisor of myself, a little over 3 years. So won't y'all tell me a little bit about ArkAAN?
So ArkAAN stands for the Arkansas Academic Advising Network. And we are a professional organization, a group of primarily advisors, professional advisors, faculty advisors, some student success professionals, really dedicated to student success. Our purpose is really to raise the level of recognition of advising as a profession, and to promote professional development of academic advisors all across Arkansas. We have many networking opportunities. We have a communication network. We promote awards and recognition for academic advising throughout the state. And we support the goals and programs of NACADA, the National Academic Advising Association. And it's an organization I'm really proud to be a part of.
So what made everybody want to get involved with ArkAAN?
Oh, I did forget to tell you, I think this is Autumn, and I am from the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith as well. So since I forgot, I'm sharing. I can tell you my good friend, Lewis Civilly, has been an advisor longer than me. And he was like, hey, you're an ArkAAN, right? And I'm like, huh? What's that? He's like, you're gonna be, come on. So that's how I got involved in ArkAAN, and it has been a fantastic decision for me.
Hey guys, this is Danielle again, and I love that Autumn brought up Lewis, because if you're an advisor in Arkansas and you don't know who Lewis is, you might be doing it wrong because he's amazing. And everywhere we go, any conference I'm at, he's always there with a big smile on his face, and he's always such a great friend and resource and colleague. And so that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I got involved in ArkAAN, was just to create a network, you know, maybe not just at my campus, but also across the state, because it's so nice to bounce ideas and things like that off of not just people in your quote unquote own backyard, but people, you know, across doing your same type of position, but maybe have a different perspective.
I actually volunteered for one of the regional conferences that we had when it was in Arkansas. And that's when I really learned about ArkAAN. I met Jill and some others who had been involved. And after the regional conference, I got really excited to become part of the organization. And so I have Jill to thank for that, and many others who encouraged me to join ArkAAN.
And I think you're hearing a trend. It's Jill again. I definitely met Jenny and Danielle both at that regional conference and was like, ooh, they would be great board members. This seems like a good fit. So I do think that, you know, part of it is being around other individuals who are part of ArkAAN. And that really was, when I first joined, we were a pretty large office for advising in the Fulbright College and on the University of Arkansas campus. And there wasn't a lot of professional development opportunities because we were so big. And so it was a lot of who gets to go. And one of the things that worked out great with ArkAAN is that it's super affordable. And so being a member and going to a drive-in conference is not something that's too taxing on most of the offices. And I went, and I want to say within the first 2 or 3 years of being an advisor, I saw there was an opening in membership. I like people and like people to be members. And I said, sure, I could do that. And it turns out I was right. So that's how I got involved.
Well, I know for me, when I got involved was actually going to my very first state drive-in there is at A State, and found out about VP communications and thought, man, I'm a big nerd and geek. I can do all these great things for these awesome people in this great organization. So why is it important for people to join ArkAAN?
So I would say, kind of echoing what I answered a little bit ago about getting involved, is just, you know, it's real important to create that network of colleagues, but it's so easy to join ArkAAN. If you are at any type of advising conference and Jill is there, she will recruit you because we love adding more people to ArkAAN, because it just creates connections, allows for personal development and professional development. But it's so great getting to know other people across the state who understand your role, because as we know at our own campuses, not everyone that even works in the same building as me understands what I do. And the things I go through every day. And so it's great to just have that support system as well. And so I would say if you are on the fence of joining ArkAAN, just do it. It will only be beneficial for you. We don't, require a ton from you. We just want you to participate and, just bring a perspective and allow us to just kind of brainstorm together and figure out how to make things better for us personally and professionally.
And I would say I'm definitely guilty of recruiting a lot of people, and I'm not upset about it, because I think that one of my roles as a member of the board is to point out these positive traits that maybe others either don't see in themselves or don't believe in themselves. And so I do think that a lot of the ways, again, why you should join and why it's important that you join is because it gives you that validation of, I recently was just listening to something that said, I'm just a, and really anytime you put just, I'm just an academic advisor, I'm just a first year advisor, I'm just, take out that just, I'm an academic advisor and I can do a lot of things. And so I think that that's why it's so important, is to be around, like Danielle said, other like-minded individuals who are doing the work. Because even on, in our own departments, on our own campus, not everyone sees that value and understands, what it is, that we don't just select courses and tell students to take them.
So how do, how do people get involved with ArkAAN?
Well, getting involved, this is Jill again, getting involved is pretty easy. You just throw your hat in the ring. That's it. So the first way, you don't all have to be a part of the board in order to be involved, although that is a great opportunity. Our board positions typically are only 2-year commitments. And so it's not really even that much time. In the past, back in my day, we used to meet once a semester and we would load up at 7:30 in the morning from Fayetteville and drive down to Conway for a 3-hour meeting in person. We've since realized that thanks to a pandemic, Zoom works really well. And so we're able to meet more frequently, but we're really cognizant of everybody's time. And so we find times that work and we have little touch-ins and little check-ins. And so the beginning is just showing up. So throughout this pandemic, we've had these free lunch and learns, and they've been great ways for us to get to know other individuals as well. In the different breakout rooms that I've been a part of, I've been able to see some familiar faces, but I've also seen some new faces and some that maybe haven't attended ArkAAN conferences in the past. And so that's the first, is just showing up and getting recognized, volunteering when we do have in-person conferences, to do a lot of the same things that we would do at regional conferences or at an annual conference for NACADA.
So what are some of the potential professional development opportunities when people are in ArkAAN?
Wow, it's me again, Margaret. Nope, still just Jill. So I went ahead and took this question because I maybe have the most experience out of the current individuals here of professional development beyond just the state level. And I think a lot of it stayed the same. It was the fact that I was a part of ArkAAN and that I was doing things and going to the state meetings at the regional conferences. So the ones that are, just with Region 7 that Arkansas is in. And then because of that, I presented at a conference. And that is a thing that I felt confident to do because of my exposure and experience with ArkAAN and, maybe presenting at a smaller level. And so I did that. And I, with my first presentation, was lucky enough to get Best of Region with my co-presenter. And so we went on to the annual conference. And then that annual conference got me a position on the webinar advisory committee for NACADA. So that's my personal experience, but I know a lot of individuals have that way. They have a lot very similar. So they become a part of ArkAAN and then start volunteering with either a session announcer or an eval tallier with a regional conference, or even just checking people in. I believe Jenny and Danielle, that was registration. That was a huge deal when Arkansas hosted the region conference last in Little Rock. And so you find those little ways to get plugged in, and the people that need spots filled at the regional level and at the annual conference level, they remember your name because you showed up and you did a good job. And so I think that that's really the biggest professional development benefit is making those connections, because when I am thinking about things on my campus, we are trying to figure something out. It's something we've never done before. I know people from programs, not only in the state, but also in Missouri and Oklahoma and Texas. And I can ask them, hey, Brain Trust, this is what we're considering doing. Do you do anything like that? Do you already have a system in place? Because I would rather not reinvent the wheel every time we are encountering a new problem, especially if a colleague of mine has already done that and they've already figured those things out. So I think that the connections that you make even outweigh the amazing presentations you can go to, because you can find some of those presentations later. And a lot of times nowadays they're actually recorded and you can watch them at a later time, but it's those connections of being able to reach out and touch someone and say, hey, I remember you talking about advising this population. Can you tell me more about some of the successes you've had with that?
You know, and I was going to say, I agree with you, Jill. I mean, because I got to go and actually present with one of my coworkers, regional conference right before the pandemic hit. And so, you know, I got to meet so many other people from other places, and it was really great. I mean, took me back to the time working in housing and going to different conferences and meeting people from wherever. So the last question I have for today is, what advice would you give someone wanting to be part of the ArkAAN board one day?
So this is Autumn. I'm definitely going to echo some of the things. Just show up. Just come on. We will welcome you with open arms. And this group is so supportive. So if you're interested, you know, in becoming on the board, just start getting involved. If you see an opening, nominate yourself. Have a coworker nominate you. We want individuals to be excited and be a part of our group and be a part of our board. We also have the website, arkansasadvising.org. So you can check out and get a little bit more information online. You can always reach out to any of our current board members. We love questions. We love connections. So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to step out. You know, we're a great organization, and we want to have as many members as we can and make as many connections as possible. So this is us welcoming you and hoping that you will get involved, invite others to be involved, and, you know, possibly serve on the board with us.
I 100% agree with Autumn. That's such a great kind of just overview of ArkAAN from this podcast. But I mean, hopefully you can tell from the things that we've said so far is that we're very welcoming and we want to meet you. We want to make a connection with you. And honestly, if you are, you know, a member first, just to kind of get your feet wet and figure out what ArkAAN's all about, go for it. But if you want to be on the board, go for it too. You know, step out like Autumn said. And if you aren't comfortable with nominating yourself, just let one of the board members know and we will gladly nominate you for sure. But really it's just, you know, just stepping out and just going for it, because one of the things that I love about our board especially is just how laid back we are and just how much we want to help each other. And, you know, it might be, hey, can you know, answer this question for me, or how do you do this? And so it's important to have different individuals from different backgrounds, just so you have those different perspectives on how to make ArkAAN better and how to make, you know, professional development better for advisors. And so I would say If you're interested in the board, just do it. Just do it. It'll be good.
Just do it. Indeed. This is Jenny again. I really would also give the advice that you can really make a difference for professionals around the state, even in a difficult time. I think we all learned, Jill was the president last year when COVID hit. I'm president this year while COVID lingered on. And what we were able to do is still bring one another together. We were able to have lunch and learns where we could connect with one another. And that was so important to keep those professional connections going, to keep that human connection going, to support one another and to have, relevant topics. And I know that just by the numbers that showed up, that was really meaningful and some of the feedback we got. So to make a difference for other professionals in the state and for yourself, I would say, as Danielle said, and Nike, just do it.
And we've already established that I bully in a loving, motherly way people to join ArkAAN. So listen, you. Hey, you. I want you on ArkAAN. I want you to be a member. I want you to run for a board position. So if your ears are hearing this right now, this is Jill telling you should run.
Our
And-
motto is you can, we can, ArkAAN. Just saying.
Great plug there, Autumn. I think back to, like I said, this has probably been almost 3 years ago when we had the nice driving conference at A-State, and everything. And so we're sitting there and I hear about this VP of communication. And I'm like, man, this would be great. So I legitimately turned to my friend, who's my coworker sitting beside me, and said, Pam, nominate me. She goes, are you sure? I said, yes, this sounds great. And of course I stood up, gave my little speech, nervous as all get out. I think I was more nervous than a long tail cat in a room full of rocking chairs, but I will never forget that day because of all the connections and everything, and how excited I made Jill, to see somebody wanting to do it. That's the thing, is it not only makes your day, it makes others. And thinking of the board, Jenny, I know we do have some openings coming up that we will have people able to run. Can you tell me about those openings so we have?
I can. We have several openings. So you will see a call to elections soon. We're going to have our public 4-year rep, our 2-year public rep, our private institution rep, and we have the VP of membership available. And also for those who have served on the board before, we do have the president-elect's position. And I did want to also mention, Zach, that we do have one final free lunch and learn that I wanted to tell you about. And please invite others at your institution. It's free. The more the merrier. If you know faculty, student success professionals, we have Charlotte Strickland, who is the Director of Professional Development and Training at UCA. Re-entry into the workplace, the next normal. So I think that that's particularly relevant right now as we all, come back to work, some hybrid, some completely immersed. How are we feeling? How are you doing? So it's just sort of a check-in. That's going to be May 14th, which is a Friday, from 12 to 1:30. Charlotte will be speaking from 12 to 1, and then from 1 to about 1:30. May not last that long, but we'll have a short business meeting, and we'll also talk about the elections at that time and take nominations. So please plan to join us for that free final lunch and learn. My name's Jenny Rude. You can find me jennifer.r@uca.edu, or you can email ArkAAN and we can get you the information and get information to anyone at your institution who may want to RSVP to that event. So thank you.
And as Jenny said, if you want to, you can feel free to reach out to any of us on the board, or you can email arkaan.inc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you all again today for taking time. Autumn, Danielle, Jenny, and Jill, I do appreciate it. Of course, this is the first podcast of ArkAAN, first of many to come. I'm so glad to get to put a lot of this kind of great stuff together, but thank you all so much. And we hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.